Lieutenant Hadley, check the language banks and find out what a heater is.
I started as DeForest Kelly, stand-in. Well, the funny part of this was Dee was very seldom on the bridge. So when I first came in, I was told to sit down there in the front. I became the navigator, Lieutenant Hadley. And that was before Walter Koenig had come in to be Chekhov. And then when they had things like on location, I would work like a guard or something like that. And that's basically what I did on the show.
Men phasers armed and ready, sir.
In Trouble with Tribbles, I suddenly switched seats. I was in George Takei's seat rather than in my regular place as the navigator. Walter Koenig came in and sat in the place where I usually sit, which was unusual. I didn't usually sit there. Oh, I just went any place they put me.
Full reverse, Mr. Kyle, all engines. Sir! Captain, we're doing it, we're pulling away!
Well, when I'd show up for work, thinking I was going to be on the bridge, and then suddenly Ken Harvey, the costumer, would say, "This is what you're going to wear today." But it was exciting because I never knew what was going to happen. Bill Tice, the costume designer, was a past master at it. He brought that show in under budget. He was very talented. You know, for instance, the Starfleet uniform that we wore was put together rather strangely. You know, first of all, it was a kind of a velour top, and velour has a tendency to ride up, and the zipper was what got everybody. It was a hidden zipper, and it went from here down to here and over. It didn't go down the front of the thing or in the back. But if it got stuck, that was the problem. There was no way you're going to close it. So they would probably make 6 doubles, especially with Bill, because the shirt was always being torn or torn off, so he was showing his chest. Leonard had the same amount. I remember I had 3 of the gold one, and the red one just came out of stock. They had all different sizes in it. Well, on Friday's Child, the costumes for the warriors were dyed green thermals and fake blue fur going across the side, and then this cutout cowl to fit around his head, and underneath it they had put a thing of hair. So it was a ponytail sticking up, and loose pants, probably extra stuff they had left in the thing, because the budget for the show was not like it is today. They looked good on camera. They were forever sewing the costume when it was already on the stuntmen, so they were constantly falling apart. And you have to run in with what we call the wrecking crew, sewing up the actor into his costume.
I was proud to obey the laws. Kill him first. He laid hands upon me. It is my right to see him die.
The episode called Friday's Child was with darling Julie Newmar, and we shot that on the back lot of Paramount, but also on location at Vasquez Rocks. And that's where she is with DeForest Kelly, and she's very pregnant. It was up in the hills, so it was quite high up. She was a delightful lady. And of course, we got along real well because her being a dancer and me being a dancer.
This is the land of my family. It has been held by us for more than 2,000 Earth years. This is our place of Kunut Khalifi.
The show that was called Amok Time was shot on the soundstage next to where we shot the bridge and the interior of the show. This is where Leonard and Bill fight over Toping. Jeannie Malone was standing in for Celia Lovsky, who was a wonderful character actress, and she plays the Queen of Falcon.
What we are about to see comes down from the time of the beginning.
The footage that I took from the top of the soundstage. So it kind of showed a panorama of the whole set. Falcon being what it is, it used a lot of red lights. There were several different guards in there that had this metallic type of costume. And one of them, who exercised all the time, put on a little show for us with his pecs being bounced up and down. So that was kind of fun.
Why pretend to work on that thing, Hancock? You know you never intended to leave Spock's body.
This is your new home, Thalassa. Once occupied, I'll add female features and some texturing.
When the android came along, in Return to Tomorrow, they shaved my chest and they tried a new experiment, which was putting cellophane and acetate and stirring it up and making it a liquid. And they put a skull cap on, which now I would be perfect for because I don't have to worry about the skull cap. But what happened was that they put it on me and I kept wondering why they kept watching me. And they weren't sure how the reaction was going to be. But it was fine. It was just ice cold when they put it on because of the acetate. I heard them talking about, we got to do something about his eyes, you know, we don't want to show. And I said, oh, I can do that. I can contort up. So that was me doing it, not eye contacts. And meantime, I'm holding my breath, and my eyes were up in the air. And when I finished, I thought, my God, I'm not going to be able to put my eyes back. Of course, you know, here I am from the waist up all day long in this makeup, and I couldn't smile, I couldn't talk, and at lunchtime, I had to drink something through a straw because it would have cracked. So they shoot it at the end of the day. So I was in that all day long. I never looked better in my life.
Sareka Volkan, do you vote to admit Corridon to the Federation?
The vote will not be taken here, Ambassador Goff. My government's instructions will be heard in the council chambers on Babel.
No, you! How do you vote, Sareka Volkan?
There was another show there called Journey to Babel. And that's where the Tellarides appear on the scene, and they're pig-like. I played one of the creatures. All day long, you've got the nose like this, and you've got the overhead thing going over your eyes, so it was like all day long you're looking and you're seeing nothing but a nose.
Welcome to Ball.
Our homes are open to you.
Oh, thank you. It does something for you.
Yes, indeed it does, Captain. It makes me uncomfortable.
In the Apple, they covered us in reddish-brown makeup. It was done by sponge, and they sponged the entire body. And then they put the wig on, which was pure white. And then they put like little tattoos around the eyes. And we had a kilt and sandals. Every night you go home, the shower was full of red. I mean, it was like, it kept coming out weeks after we'd finished shooting it. The red still was coming out of my pores.
I've had 500 of them made up to attend me.
When I mudded, there was two sets of twins, 2 girls and 2 guys. And when the guys came in, they looked so much like me that they decided to put me in the same costume as they were in, so that it would be even 3 androids rather than 2 male androids. So it was quite a shock because we really did look alike, and we were the same height and same build. And I had tights and like off-white gray tights and a matching long sleeve matching top, and not stiff makeup, but makeup that was really thick to make you look more like We were supposed to be dolls, in fact. That's what we really were.
Oh, it's adorable. What is it?
What is it? Why, lovely lady, it's a tribble.
In the trouble with tribbles, the little pieces of fake fur, some of them were just sewn round because they had no shape. Some of them had like little wind-up motors so that when they went across a flat surface that they would move by themselves. But most of them were just inanimate little bits of fur. It was a funny show, though.
Kirk, I am going to hold you responsible. There must be thousands of them.
Hundreds of thousands.
1,771,561.
There was stuff that I had shot that was backstage behind the soundstage that we were in. It was a lot of fun, and I would get people to take the camera when I needed to be shot. There was one where I decided to be dramatic in my own civilian clothes, and suddenly there's a creature from overhead and he's coming toward me, and that's the way I got a lot of the footage, especially with Ken Harvey, the costumer, who was terribly shy in front of the camera, but at least I got him to take some of those shots for me. It was funny because it was like they all became actors. You know, everybody, including George Rutter, who was a script supervisor, was forever always turning, and of course everybody was really having a good time, and I think it had a lot to do with Shatner and a lot to do with Leonard and DeForest. I mean, we worked hard, but everybody was doing their job. You know, there was always fun, and we're like a big family.